Hello and welcome you all in this video tutorial. This video is for class 10th, chapter 3, Basic HTML Elements, part 1. Now in this chapter, dear student, we are going to study about HTML, history of HTML, how to write HTML code, where to view HTML code or where to get output, web browser and various kind of HTML tags. These all topics we are going to cover in this chapter. Before starting this chapter, let me clear you what is HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and Hypertext Markup Language is a language which is useful to define the appearance of a web page. Dear student, as you all know, web page is nothing but collection of HTML document, and whatever web page we are having, that all are created by using Hypertext Markup Language. Now hypertext or hypertext markup language, it is the hyperlink specification language used to create web pages which include text, graphics and other support media. Like if you want to create a web page, so in that you may include text, along with text you may include graphics and other supported media like audio, video, animation and many more things you can include with your web page. Now in a simple markup language that describes the structure, layout and behavior of a web document, HTML enable you to mark up text so that it can function as hypertext on the web page. This makes the text more interactive and dynamic. Hypertext means on a web page only, if you want to make a link of any other page, then by using this hyperlink you may create a hyperlink also, so that your page will be more interactive and it will be dynamic also. Using HTML we can add links to the web pages called hyperlinks. These highlighted text segment or images that connect to other web page on a web. Dear student, before this also I told you hypertext means on a web page if you find any highlighted text or images, it means by clicking on that particular hypertext or or image you may navigate to another web page is known as hypertext or hyperlinks. Next, in this video we are going to discuss about the history of HTML. HTML started in early 1980s with GML. The earlier name was HTML is GML, General Markup Language. Now later on in 1986 this language was modified and named SGML, Standard General Markup Language. After few years in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee and his team redesigned this language and named it HTML. It means the name HTML is introduced in 1989. The standard version of it come into existence in 1995. And that version is 2.0 version. After 2 years, 3.0 version came into the pictures. After this, we are getting 4.0 after 2 years. Now currently we have HTML5 that is released on 28th of October 2014. And this is the current version right now we are having, and along with this we have CSS3 also. See what is CSS that we discuss in later on. So the current version of HTML that we have is HTML5. Now in this chapter you will learn about basic HTML elements that based on latest HTML5 version. Now next we are going to discuss how to write a HTML document. Dear student, we require two basic tools to write HTML document. First one is HTML editor for creating and saving document. Next one is browser for viewing the document. These two, the basic things, basic tool that we need. HTML editor means where we write HTML code, how to save and how to view. For viewing that particular HTML document, we need a browser. That is our second tool. So first, let us discuss HTML editor. So there are mainly two types of editor. First editor is what you see is what you get. This type of web editor allows developer to see what the result will look like while the document is being created. These editors provide various tools and graphics interface where the web pages are designed. While using what you see is what you get editor, user may not require the knowledge of HTML commands as the element, image, tables, lists, etc. can be placed on the interface and the required HTML code will be added automatically. For example, Adobe Dreamweaver, Google Web Designer. Apart from this, many more softwares are there. It means, dear student, these all are the customized tools. Using these customized tools, you may create your own web page without having deep knowledge about HTML tags and HTML elements. Next editor that we have is text editor. Text editor, nothing but as we are using for writing HTML code like plain text editor like Notepad and WordPad. What you see and what you get editor, here one is required to have proper knowledge of HTML command to develop the web page. Dear students, in previous editor what you get is what you get. In this editor you don't have deep knowledge about HTML elements and HTML tags, but in text editor you must have complete knowledge about HTML tags and HTML commands. Then only you are able to develop a web page. Next thing that we need is web browser. After writing and saving our document, we need to view that particular document. For viewing a document as a client, we need a web browser. As you all know, dear student, web browser is an application software which view a web content or web page. A browser software which is used to view websites. It is an interface between user and World Wide Web. Why interface? This I told earlier also, because of as a user we are not able to access web content directly, and whatever web content is stored at server side, that all are written in HTML format or hypertext markup language format. So that to view that hypertext we need a web browser, and as a client we have so many web browsers like Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Opera, Internet Explorer and many more browser applications that we have right now. Next thing that I am going to discuss is how to create an HTML document. Let us see the few easy steps to create a HTML document. First, if you plan to generate a HTML document, so for that the first step you need to click on start button, go to all program accessories and open Notepad. And dear student, not only Notepad, you may use any plain text editor for writing HTML code. Now after opening Notepad window will appear. Type HTML code along with the HTML syntax. Next you need to save that file. After saving that file, select the target folder where you want to save that particular file and give a proper name to that file. And do not forget to put .html extension. Dear student, here one point you need to notice that if you not put .html extension, then your page is not saved as a web page. That page become a text only, text page only, plain text page only. So that is why I am telling you, if you are plan to creating an HTML code, then while saving you must have to put .html extension. Then only your file is become a web file. Next thing is, till here you understood how to create a HTML document. Next, after creating HTML document, you need to view that particular document. For viewing, as we discussed previous also, browser is a software through which we can view our HTML document. So for viewing, wherever you save your particular file by using .html extension, go to their location and right click on that particular file. As you right click, you may get open with option. When you click on open with option, select any browser to view that particular HTML code. Next, I am going to discuss about various kind of HTML tags. So before starting, let me tell you what is HTML tags. Tags are the building blocks of a web page. They contain elements which define how the information on a web page formed or displayed. You can also include non-text items such as images, links and lists on a web page using tags. Tags do not appear in the web browser's window, but they display the effects of the text and non-text items. Each tag HTML follows specific rules and syntax. These tags are not case sensitive. For example, whenever you write tag name, like suppose you will write HTML. So as I told you, it's a not case sensitive language, it's a markup language, so you are free to write in a small letter, either in capital letters, doesn't matter in the output, but you need to follow the syntax. Next few tags I have mentioned here. The first one is doc type. This is the very first tag in HTML. Whenever we plan to create a HTML, this is the first tag. This tag is define the document's type. Next tag HTML, define the HTML document. Next is head tag, define information about the document. Title, define the title of the document. Body, define the document's body. H1 to Axis, define HTML headings. P tag, define paragraph tags. Apart from this, many more tags are there that we are using in our HTML for creating a dynamic web page. Next that I'm going to discuss is elements. An HTML element represent one complete individual component. It consists of on tag, the content and off tag, that is closing tag. Element is of two types, container element and empty element. Dear student, let me tell you what is container element and what is empty element. Container element, the element includes both on and off tag. That tags are called container element. On and off tag means these type of tags having both starting and ending tag. Here in example I have mentioned like B tag. If B tag is started, then we must have to close this B tag. If P tag is started, then we must have to close this P tag. Same as body and HTML tag. The all tag mentioned here, they are having both starting and ending tags. And for closing a tag, we need to use a slash sign to close a tag. Next, empty element. Empty element only contain on tag or opening tag. For example, BR tag, HR tag, IMG tag, and many more tags are there which have only on tag or starting tag. They don't have ending tag. Next, I am going to discuss about attributes. An attribute is a property that provides additional information about the HTML elements. Additional information means suppose you are using IMG tag. IMG tag we are using to insert an image on a web page. Suppose for IMG tag you want to give height and width to your image. So that IMG tag having attributes like height and width. Apart from this, most of the attribute consists two parts, that is first one is name and second one is value. Name property that you want to set and the value is what for the respective properties. Attribute value is always enclosed within quotes. It means whenever you assign any attributes value, that value must be in double quote. As we already discussed, HTML is not case sensitive language, so you are free to write tags in any of the letter, either capital or small, doesn't matter, but you need to follow the syntax. Next thing that we are going to discuss is HTML document structure. Here I have mentioned one small example to make you understood the document structure of HTML. Dear student, observe it carefully. Here first line I started doc type. It means this line represents the declaration of HTML. Second one is HTML head, title close, head close, then body started, body close, at last HTML close. Now dear student, just observe here HTML is started and at last HTML close. This whole part is the starting HTML tag and ending with /HTML tag. Like this we write starting tag and ending tag by using that slash sign. Next, head part is there, title part is there. Inside head part we mention all the styles and title of our web page. In title we are going to provide title of our web page, and in the body section we are describe the body of our web page. So this is the simple structure how your HTML document is look like. Next is some guideline to create an effective web page. So before creating a web page you need to follow some guidelines. That guidelines are like, suppose whatever attributes provide more information about HTML, that you need to enclose in angle brackets. It means whenever you write HTML code, then that particular code or tag must be in angle bracket. Angle bracket start and angle bracket close. Inside that you need to write the tag. Second one is attribute are present in name value pairs, such as name is equals to value. It means just now I told you, if you use any tag attribute, then attribute value must be assigned in pairs like name is equals to value, and it must be in double quote also. Next is tag name should be not contain any space. For example, body, if you write body body, here I have mentioned, just try to say it. If you provide space in between that tag, that is not correct. So always try to follow the proper syntax. If you are not following, then your output is not going to be correct. And one more thing I want to tell you here, if you are doing any mistake during the code, then you are not getting any kind of error on a browser. Simply what will happen, your output will not in proper manner as you are expecting. At last, container tag should always be enclosed, because an unclosed tag can lead to undesired result. Whatever container tag that we have is an unclosed tag that can be lead to undesired result. It means container tags, if you have started any tag, then you must have to close that particular tag. If you not, or if you forget to close that particular tag, then the output is not in proper manner. So be very careful whenever you plan to create a HTML document or a web page. Next thing that I'm going to discuss is heading tags. In HTML we are having so many heading tags that is started from H1 and end with H6. H1 is the highest heading label tag like this. We have H2, H3, H4, H5 and 6. If we discuss about heading tag, then heading tag type means this heading tag is a container tag. Function define heading labels. Syntax here I mention in example also, and this heading tag we must have to use inside body tag. And here I have written the code. Just see the code, and next just see the output also. You are getting output like this. So H1 is the bigger one, H2, H3, H4, H5 and 6. Likewise these all heading tags we have in HTML, and if you want to use these all heading tags, then you must have to follow the syntax which I mentioned here inside the examples. Now this is about heading tag. Apart from this heading tag, we have so many tags that we are using in HTML. Next we will discuss paragraph tag in next video, and many more tags are there that we are going to discuss in this chapter. Hope you will understood. Thank you, dear student.